Greetings, everybody. Today's lesson is about the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. Hopefully through the simulation you realized this right here, that a squared plus b squared equals c squared if and only if the triangle is a right triangle. If a squared plus b squared is not equal to c squared, then it's not a right triangle. If a squared plus b squared is greater than c squared, it's going to be an acute triangle, and if it's less than c squared, it's an obtuse triangle. Sometimes we're given side lengths, and we are asked to prove or show if those three side lengths will produce a right triangle. And to do that, we're just going to plug in a and b for the legs, and the hypotenuse will go in for c, and we are going to determine if that makes a true or false statement. Here's example number 1, and this is on the notes, which are available in Schoology. Under the additional resources, the key is also available there. This is just a further explanation. So in this example, I have my legs as 6 and 8, and 10 is my hypotenuse. I know that because 10 is my largest side. So what I need to do is plug into the Pythagorean theorem. So if this is a right triangle, then 6 squared plus 8 squared will have to equal 10 squared. Let's see if that's true or false. Well, 6 squared is 36, 8 squared is 64, 10 squared is 100. Does 36 plus 64 equal 100? Yes, it does. So our conclusion is yes, it's a right triangle. Okay, let's check out another example. Let's see if this triangle over here will produce a right triangle. 8's my hypotenuse, 4 and 7 are my legs. So if this is a right triangle, then 4 squared plus 7 squared will have to equal 8 squared. So that means that 16 plus 49 would have to equal 64. Is that true? Ooh, we are close. 16 plus 49 equals 65, which is not equal to 64. So no, it's not a right triangle. That's how you can use the Pythagorean theorem to determine if a triangle is a right triangle or not. Let's go down to an example like this, where we just give you a few sides, and you have to determine if it's a right triangle or not. So you have to be able to look at these sides and determine, okay, of these three sides, which are my legs and which is my hypotenuse? Well, the largest one is 12.5, so that means that this has to be your C, this has to be a leg, and this has to be a leg. So let's plug into the Pythagorean theorem. 3.5 squared plus 12 squared would have to equal 12.5 squared in order for this to be a right triangle. Well, let's check out what this equals. 3.5 squared is 12.25. 12 squared is 144. 12.5 squared is 156.25. 12.25 plus 144 equals 156.25. So look at that. These equal each other. Therefore, yes, it is a right triangle. Let's look at an example like this where you have some square roots, some irrational square roots as your side lengths. Let's look at 4 and 5 here. All right, so 6 has to be your hypotenuse. It's the largest side. The square root of 15 is just shy of 4, and the square root of 21 is shy of 5. So you could check that on your calculator to verify it, but you will find that 6 is indeed the largest side. It has to be your hypotenuse. Look at what happens here when I plug this into the Pythagorean theorem. Square root of 15 squared plus the square root of 21 squared equals 6 squared. Well, guess what, folks? When I square a square root, they cancel each other out. So the square of the square root of 15, it cancels out. You just get 15. When you square the square root of 21, these cancel out. You get 21, and 6 squared is 36. 15 plus 21 is 36. So 36 equals 36. That's true. Yes, it is a right triangle. Let's look at this one. 10 is my hypotenuse. Root 45 and square root of 65 are my legs. So let's try the same thing again that we just did. Square root of 45 squared plus square root of 65 squared equals 10 squared. So that means these cancel, you get 45 plus, these cancel, 65, equals 10 squared, which is 100. Is 45 plus 65 equal 100? Not quite. 110 does not equal 100, so no, it is not a right triangle. That concludes our examples for today. Please rewatch the video and pause it as you go if you want to practice some of these problems more by yourself. Check out the blank notes packet and the key on the additional resources in Schoology if you want some extra practice problems. Once you are ready, you are free to move on to the Day 2 practice problems in Schoology. There's a little practice set in there. You have unlimited attempts. Give it a shot, see how it goes, and please sign up for a conference if you need any help. Best of luck. Talk to you soon.